So presumably you've watched all the how-to videos, you know the body mechanics to make a manual happen. You're just having trouble putting them all together. Yo, what is up? Welcome back. Thank you so much for making it this far. I'm going to give you some tips, both mental and physical, to help you be more successful with your manuals. So the first thing you want to know is that you kind of have to warm up to do manuals. When I can't do manuals well, it's when I feel tight, my shoulders feel tight, and I just don't feel loose and relaxed. You know, I could jump right on a bike and go hit a big jump and be fine without being like completely warmed up. But it's funny, like if my body's just not feeling it, my upper body feels tight, for whatever reason, when my shoulders feel tight or my shoulders just don't feel like they have mobility, manuals just feel much harder. So the first tip is, when you roll out on the bike, your manuals are the easiest thing to do right when you get on the bike, because you can do them anywhere for the most part. But also, because of that, know that they're hard because you're not quite warmed up yet. So don't get discouraged if when you jump on the bike and you start manualing, even if you've had some successful attempts in the past, they're just not working for you. Just get warmed up. So whatever you learned in PE class, swing your arms, do arm circles, flap your arms, whatever you gotta do to get warmed up, it makes a big overall difference in how you feel when you attempt manuals. So you're gonna wanna learn how to wheelie first. Wheelies are easier to learn, they're easier to control because you can pedal, but they're really about 80 to 90% of what a manual is. So if you can wheelie well, it's gonna make learning how to manual so much easier. One thing I've noticed is that when it's colder outside, my rebound settings on the fork, the front suspension, are a little bit slower, and that makes it a little bit harder to get the front end off the ground. So regardless of the temperature, what you can do to use that as an aid for you if you're having trouble getting the front end off the ground. So if your fork has rebound settings, speed them up a little bit, and that just might give you a little bit of the boost that you need to help get that front end off the ground. So the first mental trick that I like to give that translates to a physical movement that will help aid your manual is the idea of envisioning your palms slapping the ground and pushing the ground in front of you, okay? So you're gonna slap your hands down and push it in front of you. What that does is it really gives you the motion and the aggression that you need to get that front end up. So I'm thinking about slapping my hands on the ground and pushing the ground forward in front of me. Slap, push. Slap, push. Slap, push. So give that slap push method a try. I think really puts you in a good mental space to do the movements to the urgency and the aggression that you need to transition your weight to the back of the bike, to get that front end light so it comes right up off the ground. You peel it off the ground, super easy for you. Now the next mental trick that I find is super helpful is the thought of having wings coming off of your shoulder blades. Sounds crazy, we're not gonna use them to flap or fly, but we're gonna use them as reference points on our back, right? So we're gonna think that we have strings or wings on our back right at our shoulder blades, and when we do the slap push motion to go back, that something has grabbed those ropes, has grabbed those wings and is pulling us back. What that does is it really helps us get back and behind our rear axle, helps get our weight behind the fulcrum on our lever, and really helps us get our weight back to where it needs to be to get that front end off the ground. So here we go, we've got wings, we have ropes attached to our shoulder blades, and when we go down and back, it's gonna pull us back, okay? And what that's gonna help us do is bring our shoulders forward, bring our torso and our back and our body mass back. You might find that you're getting the front wheel off the ground to what might feel like it could be the balancing point. However, you're falling from side to side, or you just feel like the bike's coming up crooked right off the bat, giving you a bad start to your manual. What you want to do to avoid that is you don't want to think about pulling with your arms, because it's very hard to pull consistently on both sides the bike up. So really you're driving your weight back, straight back, and what that'll do is if you're square, your feet are balanced and you come straight back, okay, with a balanced bike traveling straight, it's going to pull the front end up straight. But if you think about pulling with your arms, no matter who you are in this world, one arm is always stronger. And if you're a little bit off balance and you pull with your arm, what that's going to do is it's going to really magnify that improper balance, improper side-to-side weight distribution. So to practice that well-balanced starting point, super easy. You don't need to go fast, and you don't need to even really worry about doing a complete manual. You just want to stand up on your pedals like you were going to initiate a manual with your chin over your stem, and just kind of confirm you're tracking straight and your feet are balanced and your weight's evenly distributed between both feet, okay? So I should be able to take my hands off the bars as I stand up here and track straight, okay? If I'm tracking straight and I'm not like aggressively carving off to a side, I have balance in my feet and I have balance in my body mass. So then what we can do when we've confirmed that feeling is we start to initiate little baby manuals, again confirming that feeling. So I'm tracking straight, everything feels square, I'm down and straight back, and the bike just tracks straight forward and balanced. Straight forward and balanced, I'm not teetering to a side. Okay, I'm straight forward and I'm balanced. And this is all I'm doing over and over, straight forward and balanced. Straight forward and balanced. What that'll do is it'll help build that muscle memory to initiate your manuals well. You'll initiate them balanced. Now remember, you don't want to pull with your arms because your arms are imbalanced. There's just more variables in all of the mechanics in your muscles in your arms and your joints, your elbows and shoulders. So really it's all about our body mass going back. So we're gonna grip our bars lightly. We're gonna grip our grips lightly. We're not gonna have a strong grip. So we just kind of hook our fingers. We're just hooking our fingers kind of like we're hanging from the monkey bars. And what that'll do is it'll give us a nice relaxed posture in our arms and in our shoulders. Now let's talk about the next thing that'll help you get that front end off the ground, and that is the audible sound of your tires. So no matter what the ground is, your tires make a sound when they're rolling over it. Now when their tires speed up, they make like a zipping sound, similar to this. Hear that? Vroom, vroom, vroom. So your goal is to try to speed up your front wheel's rotation. So go down and back and really focus on speeding up that rotation. So we're gonna speed it up. And the front wheel just comes right up, zip. Just brings the front end right off the ground when I'm focused on speeding up that rotation. Zip. So the next thing is, a lot of people think that once you get the front wheel up into the manual position in that balancing point, a lot of people think you just stall out there and you kind of just freeze and you can just hold it. And that's not the case. You're always really fighting for that balancing point, especially when you're on the trails and you know you're on different terrain and stuff. There's always little things that are trying to knock you off balance. So when you get to that balancing point, your next order of operations is to maintain balance. So you want to practice that by initially moving your hips and your knees and pumping with your legs to find that balancing point. Right when you get to it, be active with your legs and your hips. Don't freeze up and hold it, okay? You got to train your muscles on what they need to do to activate to stay within that balancing point. So when you get to it, you want to force those movements, okay? Whether you need them or not, you want to practice them, and the only way you're going to practice them is to do them. Pumping with your legs, it's bringing your hips closer to the bike and further away from the bike. There's bend in your knees, obviously, so it's really the hips, the butt, and the knees. So it's kind of like bringing your butt forward and backward. Let's talk through these tips, okay? So chin over stem, we're forward on the bike. Okay, we're square, we're confirming we're square and we're balanced. Our hands are light. We're gonna go down, slap the ground, push the ground forward. We're getting pulled back by our wings, by those ropes on our shoulder blades. And instantly we're initiating our hips, trying to find that balancing point. We're not freezing like a statue. We're not stuck in the balancing mode. We gotta work for it. And there we have it. Right into a manual. So whether it is like the wings of the rope idea, or the palms pushing the ground idea, or the hum to a zip idea with your front wheel rotation, it really is all about tricking your brain and telling your body that it needs to be a quick and aggressive movement. Manuals are hard, you know, they're not easy, and that's why they're cool to do. Everybody who rides a bike knows the challenge behind doing a manual, so you gain instant respect when you can do a great manual. Additionally, you can use them on the trail. They're super practical and they're hard. You got to work for them. You gain a lot of respect when you can do them because people know the work that you put into learning the skill. So get out there, work on it. These are just a few mental tips and tricks to help you become more successful. Peace.